Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name's Yvette.
Hello, Yvette. And where did you grow up and where do you live now?
Oh, I grew up in Manchester, England, and I'm back there now. I'm still there.
Nice. And what's been the predominant practice of your life?
Immediately you've asked me that, I want to say kindness, being kind, but I know what you're asking me, and that is what holds me. So Ashtanga yoga and other forms, but largely Ashtanga. But as important as Ashtanga is, I also have I'm held really deeply by meditation, in particular Buddhist meditation. Yeah.
I'm actually more interested in the kindness.
Okay.
And so when did kindness come first?
At 9 years old, my mum and dad separated, and it happened in a park. And I can remember my brother would have been about 3 or 4 years old and I was 9, and my mum stood there as my dad drove away. And I just knew I had to hold them, both my brother and my mum. And everything I've done from that day to this, and probably will do forever, is kindness, yeah.
Was that a moment then when...
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Probably, at the time, quite a horrible moment, but in hindsight now, the birth of me, maybe, who I am.
And is that something you can look back now as seeing the birth of you, or is it something you just, at the time you went, I'm just going to be the kind one and try and hold everyone?
No, I can really look back and pinpoint when everything that followed, when it started, yeah.
And it was from there?
Yeah, definitely.
So what led you into practicing meditation and yoga then?
For a long time, I didn't know what led me there. It's only since my mum died that I've realised what led me there. So originally, I was looking for something that was going to give me a sense of peace and calm, because my life was always quite hectic. So I would live for weekends and the nightclub scene and going out, and always a little bit crazy, and then I'd be running like mad on a treadmill, teaching aerobics, and I was very into that side of life, but I knew it wasn't good for me because I wasn't being kind to me at all. And I just found this yoga class, which reminded me of a class that my mum used to take me to when I was 12, 13. And I thought that'd be great, I'll do that for a while. And it was okay. And then by pure chance, I fell upon an Ashtanga class. And in that moment, the whole journey of Ashtanga and how something could hold me so deeply that I could be present in the moment, which was impossible for me at the time, I realised that was possible.
What was it that felt held?
All of me. I didn't need to give anything to anybody. I didn't need to be anywhere or do anything. I could be in a room with lots of people who were doing what they were doing, and I could just be there being me. And I could have interaction if I wanted, and my teacher was there if I needed them, but I could just be me.
And yeah. Who was the you that you were, that Ashtanga found?
The little girl who grew up too quickly. I was able to be playful again, to laugh at myself, to feel strong. I did my growing up on that mat.
And when did you, if you don't mind me asking, when did you find that? What age?
It was 27 years ago. So, no, 26 years ago, so I would have been, I'm 62 now. Can you do the maths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 35.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it
And then
was.
has it been like, so would you look at that as a moment that, like, when you found yoga, it was like...
It was the second moment. Yeah, the second moment of my journey in life, I think. Yeah.
And then how did that direct your life?
It gave me the ability to be calm. And even though I was kind to people, how much of that kindness was just driven from habit, because I'd been doing that for so long, I didn't really know. And it brought me to a place where I realised that to be kind to others, you have to be kind to yourself. And it sustains me now. It's like, it feels like I'm plugging myself in to be recharged when I practice. Yeah.
And is that Ashtanga as well as meditation? Because
Both.
you said you had a meditation practice
Both.
yourself. What does a meditation practice look like?
I practice samatha vipassana meditation, which is in the Theravedic tradition of Buddhism. And it's the absolute opposite of Ashtanga. So I feel like I have a real balance with both of them, and they both give me two very, very different things. Very different things. Ashtanga makes me feel physically and energetically powerful in a very kind and generous way to myself. Whereas my seated meditation allows me to just observe everything in the external. It takes me away from myself. Yeah.
And so how have you found that kind of like in the wider context of your life, away from practice?
When I was a child, my mum used to always make us as children have quiet time before we went to bed to sleep. And it was just my mum being my mum. I realised later on that actually that was my mum guiding me down a pathway that I've arrived at. So the journey started there, and when I found samatha meditation, it continued. That side of my life allows me to support myself in everything that I do. Being kind, holding others, and I hold a lot of people. The Ashtanga holds me. So what I mean by that is, if I'm going to, and I'll use the word recharging, if I'm going to recharge my energies to give, I do that with my seated meditation, and I know that I'm doing it for that reason. And that's a good purpose for me to do that. If I know that I need to look after me, then I roll out my mat and I move my body. Yeah.
Amazing. And then so, where else in your life has like these practices helped? This way of being kind to yourself helped?
So 8 years ago, I lost my mum, and my mat was there for me. And I don't know that I would have been as strong as I was and needed to be during the time that she was poorly when I was supporting her if I didn't have my mat. So it gives me strength. I roll out the mat, I stand on it, and it gives me strength. That's it just gives me strength. And when my mum died, I thought that that's why I've been practicing all these years. That's why, for that very moment in my life when I lost the most precious thing that there ever was, you know? And then May 21, I was working the date out then. In May 21, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And then I realised why I had been practicing all of these years. Because my mat was then there, and the community around me, both with my students, as I am a teacher, but my wider community, practitioners, my teacher, my meditation teachers, that whole community of people held me, and that was really, really hard. In fact, I would say that was the third moment of my life. When I realised that I had to literally open myself up and be held, and the mat gave me the stability to do that.
The mat gave you the stability for you to open yourself up,
Yeah,
and fall into people's arms.
yeah, yeah. Because on that mat, there is a whole community around me. And in the shrine room, in the Buddhist centre, there is a whole community around me. Not just those that are immediately there in the room, but those that have been before me and those that will come after me. So that it was those two communities that got me through a really tough time, and held me when I needed to be held. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really lovely way of looking at it. I think what kind of comes up is like, you know, as you talk about that, is this idea of the three jewels.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
The Buddha, the
Dharma.
teachings, and
Yeah.
the Sangha.
Yeah.
There's something really beautiful about that third moment.
Yeah.
Did you have to really show kindness to you and yourself and your body? And do you
Yeah.
think that's what the Sangha, all the teachings helped you to realise
Yeah.
in the moment when
Yeah.
you really needed to, when it's really tender?
Yeah. But I also think that might not be the final moment. So, yes, without my practices, who knows? My recovery was unbelievably quick. And yes, I had the force of the NHS behind me, and my friends, my family, and everybody. But would I have been as strong without my practice? Genuinely, hand on heart, don't think I would have been. Because the practice has taught me, all of the practices have taught me, for me, that if the story of me is done, then the story of me is done, and wow, what a journey that's been. And I was okay with that. Yeah.
But there's also, if you're thinking about that, the element of like, but then you just become the Sangha.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could continue to become the Sangha, which you sat with in the Dharma room.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
And I do sometimes roll out my mat. Now I am recovered. It will always, there'll always be physical scars. There'll always be emotional scars, but I hold them with acceptance because they're now part of me. But sometimes when I roll out my mat, and I like to feel this way, this is a good thing, I think, where are you taking me now? Or when I sit and I get my meditation cushion out and I sit and I close my eyes and I breathe, I think, where am I going today? And that's it. That is it. It's a journey, and how amazing that we can have this journey. Precious, yeah?
Precious.
Precious.
And so what would you like to share with others that you've discovered about yourself over all this time? Through the practices, through kindness, through all of these things?
First of all, that I'm okay with myself. I can hold myself in the middle of everything, And it's okay to feel bad, it's okay to feel happy, it's okay to cry, it's okay to not be okay, all of those things. And my practice has given me that. It's given me knowledge, prajna in Buddhism, knowledge. It's given me, I feel like I really know me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you.